Welcome everyone to the Cam Thanh's rice field village. Follow me to Michael will take you to each place in this village. You follow Lê Thánh Tông Street and the Cửa Đại Street to the Cam Thanh's rice field village. Cam Thanh's rice field village is now coconut water coconut forest. Cam Thanh Coconut Village is located about 5 km from the southeast of Hoi An town, Viet Nam, Vietnam. The existence of the craft of making coconut paintings and the water coconut forest ecosystem Cam Thanh has created a cultural space to attract domestic and foreign tourists for visit and scientists or study. During the Vietnamese War, it was the center of the local people and soldiers, and today is known as providers of the seafood products to regions. The first impressions of the tourists in here is peace, not noisy. It's as secluded as a peninsula, houses by the green flat coconuts for season. Going to the village, tourists will easily enjoy the village traditions and work in here. To the Cam Thanh's village, the tourists have a chance to explore the water coconut forest ecosystem and enjoy some activity with the local people. Visitors have a chance to learn about the daily life of the Vietnamese fishermen, their families and their community. To the village of the Cam Thanh, visitors will learn some technique, fishing traditions and how to paddle the unique Vietnamese bamboo basketball while exploring the now tranquil coconut palm flank waterways of the past war. And how to get the Cam Thanh's water coconut village. To get the Cam Thanh's coconut village, tourists can ride bicycles or take a taxi from the Hoi An towns. Visitors can take a bus from Da Nang to Hoi An and hire a car or bicycle bike to Cam Thanh. It has only about 20 or 30 minutes. It's hard to combine the trip to visit Hoi An town. Then they hire the car to water coconut forest ecosystem. Rice is an integral part of the life in Vietnam. Vietnam is an agricultural country with 8 out of 10 Vietnamese living in the rural areas and making their livings by growing rice. Many Vietnamese people say their countries look like a two rice basket placed at the two ends of the pole. Rice fields in Vietnam. Rice is staple food for half the world's populations, and the cultivation is dated back some 7,000 years ago in Southeast Asia. It symbolizes the also part of ceremonies and offering. It's also the most important food crops in the world and an important part in the Asian culture. There are thousands of the rice varieties. Rice is a cereals grain related to oats, rye, and wheat. It comes in white, brown, red, black, or amber. Its grain can be either short or long, thick or thin. Rice mainly grows in the flooding fields. It needs constant supply of the water. Is called the lowland rice. Lowland rice is the North wet rice. Its most common species in Southeast Asia, which can be planted in 2 or 3 crops a year. And here we go to in the cemetery. The common cemeteries and enjoy with the fisherman. He is making the fishing net. Seedlings are raised in the nursery beds and transplanted after 25 or to 50 days. To flood the fine fields surrounded by the soil-raised border, the paddy stem is submerged into 6 inch and water, and the seedlings placed in rows approximately in a foot apart. And now I would like to tell you about the cemeteries, the tombstand. The tombstand right names to other people, the guy which ones usually die, but have a different Western culture. Vietnamese people write Lunar calendar. The guys have already lived 91 years old. And below the tombstands write generation, sons and grandson, also the grandchildren. Regular ceremonies are held for the dead persons after the time, especially on the death anniversaries, the Lunar New Year period, Tet holiday in the Vietnam, and often on the 1st and the 15th days of each lunar month. Families normally have a special dinner on the 49th and the 100th days after the death, and also on the first anniversaries. They may have a dinner every year after that on death anniversaries. When the body is home 3 years later, the bones are cleansed and rearranged in proper order and reburied in a small earthquake coffin. Normally, only relatives and close friends are in attendance, and there is no special social gathering. The country's agriculture, especially rice production, saw a strong and fast growth in 1990s and the 1999 period from a country facing chronical food shortage. Vietnam has over the past 11 years become the world's second largest rice exporter after ensuring adequate supplies for the domestic consumption. rural people's life has constantly improved. The fragrance of the Vietnamese rice has a tourism spread across kitchens of many homes in the foreign countries. Despite the destruction caused by natural disaster, rice production keeps increased in Vietnam over the last 14 years, and now, with the bumper harvest record year on year, Vietnam's major breakthroughs in agriculture came 1989, when the country had a record output around 19 million tons of food in terms of paddy, while annual production could not exceed 70 million tons in the 1981 and 1985 period. The weather is favorable. Tourists can visit anytime in Hoi An. The tourists can visit from February to April. The weather at the times is very cold and pleasant. It's very suitable for tourists who want to come to rest and relax. Thank you. See you for next video. Thank you so much. Good luck.